A very good morning to everyone. Hope you all are doing well this week. Today we are going to run the new Eastonmade conveyor for the very first time. I do have a little bit of cherry rounds here. I was able to get together this past few days, but the weather's looking good for this upcoming week, so I'm going to be getting at least a few loads of tree service wood in here this week. So we will be back up with our supply of logs so that we can start producing even more firewood. But we're going to run this new conveyor for the very first time today. I'm so excited. I've got my new setup going on here. The conveyor's backed right up to the front of the Eastonmade 1222, and we're going to run some cherry through it today. And Brady is going to be here in a little bit, and he's got a new venture that he's going to try out today, so we'll talk a little bit about that too, so stick around. So some of you have asked the question already about what I'm going to do with the old conveyor. It has been retired and moved down to the wood line here. But I got to tell you, after all the mishaps that we had with it in the beginning, the day of the fellowship at the furnace, after I made those corrections and adjusted the tension on the chain and fixed some of the other weak links, it ran okay that day. Little to no problems with it at all. But for those of you who are asking what I'm going to do with that old conveyor, if you remember Jack, who was here on the day of the fellowship at the furnace, he's the one who brought the Eastonmade 916. And he lives nearby me, and he had reached out to me when I was having all the problems with the wedge on the Ramsplitter and offered to bring his splitter over here for me to use. He lives really close by, and I never met him before. But after that day, I got to know him. He's hung out with me a little bit since in the yard here. We went to lunch together, and I've gotten to know him a little better. And he's my kind of guy. So we've become pretty good friends, and I think that friendship's going to continue to grow. But back to the original question, I have offered that conveyor to him. He's got a firewood operation at his house. He heats with wood, and he's thinking about maybe expanding into a little bit of firewood sales. So I told him that if he felt that he had a use for this or a need for this, that he could have it. So he's still working on that. I think he's talking to his wife a little bit about it, trying to plan in his head how to rearrange things at his yard. But that conveyor right there is going to be his if he chooses to take it. So kind of try to pay that forward a little bit in exchange for this awesome piece of equipment right here. But yeah, if he can use it, I've offered it to him. So hopefully that conveyor will have a new home here soon. Let's get these machines fired up and run it for the first time. So you can see the way I've got the conveyor set up, loading into the back of the dump trailer. With the grizzly bars on it, some of the scraps that fall through are going to fall into the trailer. So I've got a solution, I think, for that. The ideal situation would be to load the trailer from the side, but that's not going to work out with how my yard's configured here, because I don't want to block the entranceway with the machines or the trailer sitting sideways as compared to the driveway. So let me get the conveyor running here and I'll show you what my plan is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load right into the back of the trailer, but I've cut the bottom of an IBC tote out and I've set it underneath the grizzly bars there. So any scraps that come off the grizzly bars will fall into that, and as the trailer fills up in the front, I can slide this tote towards the back and eventually just take it out altogether. So that's my plan for catching scraps, and it's going to work really well for what Brady has in mind that we're going to show you here later on in the video. Now, Andrew said that you can pretty much run this thing at an idle, and that's pretty much where it is right now, and I think that's a good speed. Well, that little bit of cherry is split, and that was not the ideal wood that I normally process, but it's what I was able to get my hands on to get this conveyor going before we bring in some more loads of tree service wood this week. I just wanted to, you know, have something to run through it, and it made some good looking firewood, but it was not the most straight grain ideal stuff like I normally process. Brady has come and he has arrived. Mom just dropped him off from ball practice. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. I'm just excited to run the chipper.
Ah, so he just let the cat out of the bag. I had teased you in the beginning of the video that Brady was going to do a kind of like a new venture that he wanted to try out. So we got probably a little over a face cord, maybe close to half a cord of cherry split into the trailer. The grizzly bars did their job, and the IBC tote caught some of those scraps in there. So that seems like it's going to work out okay. But let me take you over here while I'll let Brady walk you over here, and maybe he can describe to you what he's going to be doing. So you want to tell him a little about what your idea is?
Sure. So I want to try and get the bags of wood chips, and I want to try and sell them. So
wood chips for what?
Cooking and smoking.
All right.
So this is it. So we put the wood. Do you put the wood on this side, right?
Either side.
Yeah, you put the wood on either side, and then it can blow out into the bag, and then get a bag of wood chips, and then hopefully I can sell them.
So Brady's been wondering about what he could do around here to kind of make a little bit of money on the side for himself, and he wanted a job that he could kind of call his own. So he came up with this idea. He's going to chip up some of the scraps from the splitter. We'll lay them out in the yard trailer over here. We'll lay them out, let them dry in the sun a little bit, and then he wants to try to bag them up, and we'll make up some labels and stuff for him to maybe sell some smoker chips. So that's going to be his new deal. We're going to fire up this little chipper here and see how it works out. I don't even know what it's going to look like or if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot here today, and we figured we'd bring you along with us.
Alright, so we got a wheelbarrow of cherry scraps from the splitter. We're going to stick them in there, make some wood chips, and get it going.
Alright, go ahead and throttle it up. If this is going to work, folks, I'm not really sure, but this is his baby. That chipper belongs to him.
Good.
And this is his deal. See what we got. Buddy, go ahead and shut it down. We'll see what we got. We didn't quite get the whole wheelbarrow done, but we just want to check and see what we've got here and what it looks like. You never touch anything until the machine's totally shut off, because you hear at the end those blades are still turning in there. So let's take this bag off and we'll see what it looks like, if it's even going to work for us.
Looks like a good bit.
Let's walk over here and we'll dump them out in the trailer and see what we got.
How does it look?
Looks pretty good. I don't know if they're quite big enough to be smoker chips, but they're definitely good enough to be fire starter. So maybe you can just adjust, instead of making smoker chips, you can sell fire starter bags.
Yeah.
So
Are fire starter bags like the same size?
Yeah. So what we need to do is spread this out in the trailer, nice thin layer so that the sun can get on them and dry them out. They'll dry fairly quickly since they're so small. And the sun will bake on them, and then we can start bagging it up and you can sell it as fire starter. You know, people buy bundles. We can have it sitting out next to the bundles, and maybe they'll, every time they get bundles, they'll get a bag of fire starter. What do you think?
Pretty good, yeah.
So give you a little close up of what they are here. That chipper chips them up pretty fine. So I don't think they're big enough to be smoker chips, but fire starter I think will be just fine. Let Brady know in the comments what you think about it, and if you think this will be a good deal for him, and how we should package them, and any feedback that you may have. Well, Brady's got the trailer layered up with his first round of wood chips. What do you think, Brady?
I think it's a lot of fun. I think I would come a lot here to do this.
So we'll let this sit in the sun for a couple days. It's going to be good weather here in the next several days. Let these chips dry out, and then we'll kind of figure out what kind of packaging you want to do it in and figure out what we can do. What do you think? I'm
excited.
Good. I'm glad you found something that you enjoy, and hopefully this will work out for us.
Yeah, you guys might be seeing me in some more videos now, because I'm going to be doing this a lot more.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. We got all that wood stacked out of the trailer. It was just over 1/3 of a cord. We topped off some of the other piles and made them a little higher than they needed to be, but hey, when somebody gets that stack of wood, they'll have a little extra. So that was a good day. We got to run the conveyor. We got to check out the grizzly bars and how well they work out. I think the bottom of that IBC tote in there is going to work out good for catching scraps. I've got a new use for some of the scraps. Brady will be chipping them up and making either smoker chips or fire starter. We haven't quite decided what that's going to work out to be yet. I think they might be a little small for smoker chips, but either way, Brady's going to come up with something to make this profitable for him, maybe. A couple extra dollars in his pocket.
Yep.
He's got a savings account opened up. We need to start saving for a car and gasoline, and you're going to find out how expensive things are when you start driving here in a few years, and you need to stop and get something to eat at McDonald's or fill your car up with gas so you can drive to school and to work and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, the conveyor is awesome, and I hope you all enjoyed today's video. We will bring you a new video every single Wednesday. We come to you on the very first Friday of the month, and the last Thursday of the month is our Thirsty Thursday live stream. So if you haven't joined in on that, check that out as well. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, share this video with your friends. We really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great week.
Have a great week, everybody.